For many people suffering from bipolar disorder, depression can be a big bane. It can be a huge drain on a person's self esteem and sense of self worth. This certainly has been the case in my experience. In my personal mental health journey, I felt overwhelming amounts of depression in the aftermath of my manic episode, during which I did many things I was embarrassed about, ashamed about, felt guilty about. And in the aftermath, I had to devise new ways and methods in order to alleviate the stressors that came with that depression. And I found many different ways to cope with bipolar disorder. In this video, I'm going to share 3 powerful coping mechanisms that I've utilized on my journey in order to mitigate symptoms of depression and alleviate feelings of anxiety. If you have bipolar disorder, I promise you that there is a way to make things better. You don't have to allow your life to be defined by this illness. It is within our power to make choices to combat this illness and for our own betterment and for our own health. One of the ways that I've coped with bipolar disorder is by having an exercise routine. And this wasn't true initially, so I have a past that I could compare the present to. In the past, in the immediate aftermath of my manic episode, I wasn't exercising. I went from 180 pounds to 354 pounds. That is a massive increase in weight in such a short span of time as well. And as you can imagine, this greatly diminished my self-esteem. But starting in December of 2023, I started going to the gym as a way to deal with my isolation. I had been on Wellbutrin, and it really invigorated me to get out of the house for the first time in a very long time. And it made me more comfortable being in loud, noisy places, like a gym, for instance. And the great thing about exercise, there's a saying that I really like, and I've talked about it in videos before, and that saying goes, if the effects of exercise could be prescribed in a bottle, it would be the most effective antidepressant in the world. Now, exercise is no alternative to medication, but in many ways, it has effects that are similar to medication. It is, in many ways, a natural antidepressant. And studies show that exercises, especially like cardio, stimulates production of endorphins, which in turn reduces stress levels. Why is that important? Stress can be a major trigger for mania. And the last thing a depressed person with bipolar needs is another manic episode to have to endure, another manic episode to have to recover from. And so, exercise, the benefits are truly endless. It also releases neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which reduces levels of anxiety as well as depression. And so the benefits go on and on. Exercise is a powerful, effective way to cope with bipolar disorder, particularly depression. And it's something I plan on continuing to utilize. I've already gone from 354 to about 310 over the course of this year. And next year, I plan on hitting the gym even more in order to maximize the benefit that I derive from the exercises I've been doing. A second powerful coping mechanism for bipolar disorder is support groups. And the reason I say that is because bipolar disorder can be extremely isolating. It can make you feel like you're alone in your struggles. It can make you feel like there's no hope. And the message of support groups often is to never surrender hope, in the sense that it provides examples of other people's experiences that you can resonate. So it in turn reduces feelings of isolation and loneliness, provides a strong sense of belonging and community, something to look forward to. And it's a place where people can not only resonate with each other, but they could also give each other advice and share coping strategies. So it's a perfect place to learn even more coping strategies and to possibly find coping strategies that work better for you than the ones that I'm talking about in this video. So that's why I mention support groups. It's just a fantastic thing. It's a marvelous experience. It also combats stigma that society often has surrounding issues of mental illness. And the reason that's so important is that it reduces the shame that comes with talking about mental illness. A lot of people feel ashamed of the fact that they have a mental illness. And it's sad because it's not their fault. If you have a mental illness, please understand that it's not your fault. And with support groups, we can increase acceptance of this idea that people are not at fault for their mental illnesses, that there is hope out there, acceptance of ideas and ideals that could enact powerful and beneficial change in people's lives. The third coping mechanism I want to talk about in this video is meditation. Bipolar disorder, let's put it simply, can be profoundly stressful. Meditation, though, can in many ways be antithetical to that stress because it activates the body's relaxation response. It diminishes the production of stress hormones, and it enhances your mental clarity, and it allows you to observe your thoughts without making judgment and break the cycles of negative thinking that often accompany severe mental disorders like bipolar disorder. In my bipolar disorder experience, I've had lots of negative thought spirals, experienced great deals of negative self-talk, especially that kind of chit-chatter that one experiences at nighttime, which can then interfere with your sleep quality, your sleep duration. And so meditation, though, when I meditate before bed, it really puts my mind in a sense of tranquility. I feel like I'm at peace with the world. I feel like I'm living in the present moment, and my only goal is to focus on sleeping instead of worrying about things that I said and did during that manic episode, or the steps backwards I've taken during my depressive episode, which have set me so far back relative to where I was, relative to where I could be had I not made certain decisions. So meditation improves sleep quality in that it enables you to focus on the present, and it puts your mind at ease. Meditation for myself involves just deep breathing exercises, closing my eyes, and focusing on my breath, focusing on how I breathe. And when I have thoughts, I do not judge them, I acknowledge them, but then I dismiss them, and I redirect my focus back to my breathing. So in this video, I talked about 3 powerful coping strategies I've utilized in combating my bipolar disorder. I've talked about exercise and the benefits that it provides as far as chemical changes in the brain, which reduce anxiety and depression, and how it's a natural antidepressant. I've talked about support groups and the sense of community, sense of belonging that it can produce in helping us address our human desires. I've talked about meditation and how it can put you in a tranquil state, how it can make you at peace with the present moment and put you in the present moment, allowing you to really focus on not the negatives, but on just each coming second. Meditation, support groups, and exercise have worked wonders for me. I hope they'll work wonders for you. You don't need bipolar disorder to derive the benefits from these things either. This trio works for anybody, mental health issues or not. But in my opinion, especially for people with mental health issues, these are all powerful things that everybody should be doing. There are many other coping mechanisms out there, journaling, reading. I could go on and on. And it's imperative that we don't lose hope. Coping mechanisms help keep that in our mind, this idea that there is hope out there, reminds us that we should never surrender hope. Because coping mechanisms make us feel better about the situations that we're dealing with. If anybody has any coping mechanisms that they use of their own to deal with their own struggles, stressors, mental health disorders, please feel free to share down below. You can get a good conversation going on different ways to cope. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Tyler Adolfo. I'm 26 years old and I have bipolar type 1 with psychotic features, but I'm not allowing it to define me, and I'm never surrendering hope. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content.